Common medical abbreviations. ABG, arterial blood gases. ABG, you may have an ABG test to detect lung diseases. ACE, angiotensin-converting enzyme. ACE, drugs called ACE inhibitors are used to treat high blood pressure. Heart failure, diabetes, and kidney diseases. ACL, anterior cruciate ligament. ACL, commonly injured part of the knee. ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. ADHD, a behavior disorder. AFib, atrial fibrillation. AFib, a disturbance of the rhythm of the heart. AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. AIDS, infection caused by human immunodeficiency virus. ALP, alkaline phosphatase. ALP, you may have a blood test for ALP to detect liver or bone disease. ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. ALT, alanine aminotransferase. ALT, you may have a blood test for ALP to detect liver disease. AMD, age-related macular degeneration. AMD, an eye problem. AMI, acute myocardial infarction. AMI, heart attack. AODM, adult onset diabetes mellitus. AODM, type 2 diabetes. AST, aspartate aminotransferase. AST, you may have a blood test for ALP to detect liver disease. AVM, arteriovenous malformation. AVM, a defect in the circulatory system. BID, twice a day. BID, your doctor may write this on your prescription. BMI, body mass index. BMI, a measure of how much you should weigh based on your height. BP, blood pressure. BP, the force of your blood pushing against the walls of your arteries. BPH, benign prostatic hypertrophy. BPH, enlargement of the prostate gland. BRCA, breast cancer gene. BRCA, people with the gene may be at increased risk for breast or ovarian cancer. BUN, blood urea nitrogen. BUN, you may have a blood test for BUN to detect kidney disease problems. C8, cancer or calcium. C8, CA-125, cancer antigen 125. CA-125, you may have a blood test for CA-125A to measure cancer activity. CABG, coronary artery bypass graft. CABG, a type of heart surgery. CAD, coronary artery disease. CAD, a common type of heart disease. CAT, computerized axial tomography. CAT, a type of X-ray. CBC, complete blood count. CBC, a blood test that measures many properties of the cells in your blood. CHD, congenital heart disease. CHD, heart disease you were born with. CHF, congestive heart failure. CHF, also called heart failure. A condition in which the heart can't pump enough blood throughout the body. CMV, cytomegalovirus. CMV, a common virus. CNS, central nervous system. CNS, the brain and spinal cord. COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. COPD, a lung disease that makes it hard to breathe. CPK, creatine phosphokinase. CPK, you may have a blood test for CPK to see if you've had a heart attack. CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. CPR, an emergency procedure whose heart has stopped or is no longer breathing. CRF, chronic renal failure. CRF, failure of the kidneys. CRP, C-reactive protein. CRP, you may have a blood test for CRP to see if you have inflammation or heart problems. CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. CSF, a fluid that surrounds the brain and spinal cord. CVA, cerebrovascular accident. CVA, a stroke or brain attack. CXR, chest X-ray. CXR, a diagnostic test that uses radiation to make images of your lungs. DJD, degenerative joint disease. DJD, another name for arthritis. DM, diabetes mellitus. DM. DTP, diphtheria. Tetanus. Pertussis. DTP, a vaccine for 3 diseases. DVT, deep vein thrombosis. DVT, a blood clot. DX, diagnosis. DX. ECHO, echocardiogram. ECHO, a test that uses sound waves to look at the heart. EEG, electroencephalogram. EEG, a test that measures electrical impulses of the brain. EMG, electromyography. EMG, a test that measures electrical impulses of muscles. ENT, ear, nose and throat. ENT. ERCP, endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography. ERCP, a way to diagnose problems in the liver, gallbladder, bile ducts and pancreas. ESR, erythrocyte sedimentation rate. ESR, a blood test for inflammation. ESRD, end-stage renal, kidney, disease. ESRD. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. FSH, if you are a woman. You may have a blood test for FSH to evaluate fertility. GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. GERD, a problem that happens when stomach contents leak back into your gullet. GI, gastrointestinal. GI, another term for your digestive system. GFR, glomerular filtration rate. GFR, a test of kidney damage. GU, genitourinary. GU, the urinary and sex organs. HAV, hepatitis A virus. HAV, a virus that causes one type of liver disease. HBV, hepatitis B virus. HBV, a virus that causes one type of liver disease. HCT, hematocrit. HCT, a blood test measurement. HCV, hepatitis C virus. HCV, a virus that causes one type of liver disease. HDL, high-density lipoprotein. HDL, a type of cholesterol, also known as good cholesterol. HGB, hemoglobin. HGB, a blood test measurement. HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. HPV, human papillomavirus. HPV, a virus that causes cervical cancer. HRT, hormone replacement therapy. HRT, hormone supplements that women may take. HTN, hypertension. HTN, high blood pressure. IBD, inflammatory bowel disease. IBD, a name for two digestive disorders: ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. IBS, a problem with the large intestine. ICD, implantable cardioverter defibrillator. ICD, a device that monitors heart rhythm problems. ICU, intensive care unit. ICU, special hospital unit. IDDM, insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus. IDDM, type 1 diabetes. IM, intramuscular. IM, a type of injection. IUD, intrauterine device. IUD, a type of birth control for women. IV, intravenous. IV, a type of injection. IVP, intravenous pyelogram. IVP, an X-ray test of the urinary system. LDL, low-density lipoprotein. LDL, a type of cholesterol, also known as bad cholesterol. LFT, liver function tests. LFT. MI, myocardial infarction. MI, heart attack. MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella. MMR, a vaccine for 3 diseases. MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. MRI, a type of imaging test. MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. MRSA, a type of infection. MS, multiple sclerosis. MS, a disease of the nervous system. NG, nasogastric. NG, you may need an NG tube to empty the contents of your stomach. NIDDM, non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. NIDDM, type 2 diabetes. NKD8, no known drug allergies. NKD8. NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. NSAID, drugs like ibuprofen. OCD, obsessive-compulsive disorder. OCD, a type of anxiety disorder. PAD, peripheral arterial disease. PAD, diseases of the arteries outside the heart. PAP, Papa Nicolau. PAP, you may need a PAP test to detect cervical cancer. PAT, paroxysmal atrial tachycardia. PAT, a disturbance of the rhythm of the heart. PET, positron emission tomography. PET, a type of X-ray test. PFT, pulmonary function test. PFT, you may need PFTs to find out how your lungs are working. PID, pelvic inflammatory disease. PID, infection and inflammation of the female reproductive organs. PMS, premenstrual syndrome. PMS, a group of symptoms that may happen before a woman's period. PPD, purified protein derivative. PPD, you may have a PPD skin test for tuberculosis. PRN, as needed. PRN, your doctor may write this on your prescription. PSA, prostate-specific antigen. PSA, you may have a blood test for PSA to detect prostate disease. PT, prothrombin time. PT, a measure of blood clotting. PTH, parathyroid hormone. PTH, you may have a blood test for PTH to detect parathyroid disease. PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. PTSD, an illness caused by traumatic events. PTT, partial thromboplastin time. PTT, a measure of blood clotting. PUD, peptic ulcer disease. PUD, a disease of the stomach. PVC, premature ventricular contraction. PVC, a disturbance of the rhythm of the heart. QID, 4 times a day. QID, your doctor may write this on your prescription. RA, rheumatoid arthritis. RA, a type of joint disease. RBC, red blood cell. RBC, a type of blood cell. RSV, respiratory syncytial virus. RSV, a virus that causes infections in children. RX, treatment. RX. SAD, seasonal affective disorder. SAD, depression during seasons with little light. SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. SIDS. SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus. SLE, lupus for short. SOB, shortness of breath. SOB. STD, sexually transmitted disease. STD. T3, triiodothyronine. T3, you may have a blood test for T3 to detect thyroid disease. T4, thyroxine. T4, you may have a blood test for T4 to detect thyroid disease. TB, tuberculosis. TB, an infection of the lungs. TAH, total abdominal hysterectomy. TAH, surgery to remove a woman's uterus, womb. TIA, transient ischemic attack. TIA, a small stroke. TIBC, total iron binding capacity. TIBC, a test that measures the amount of iron in your blood. TID, 3 times a day. TID, your doctor may write this on your prescription. TMJ, temporomandibular joint. TMJ, the joint that connects your jaw to the side of your head. TORCH, stands for a group of infections that may cause birth defects. TORCH, a newborn will have this test to check for infections. Sometimes the mother also needs the test. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. TSH, you may have a blood test for TSH to detect thyroid disease. TURP, transurethral resection of prostate gland. TURP, an operation to remove parts of the prostate gland. URI, upper respiratory infection. URI, another name for the common cold. UTI, urinary tract infection. UTI, infection of the bladder and kidneys. XRT, radiotherapy. XRT, therapy that uses radiation. Usually for cancer. WBC, white blood cell. WBC, a type of blood cell. Common medical abbreviations.